Hello and welcome back. I'm Nicole, a cottage witch, and today I'm doing a VR to Janaki and Lady Bathsheba because you have to include the cat at Catamancy Tarot. This is tarot skincare routine, which is a tag that she created, I don't know, maybe a week ago or so. I'll link the original video down below. And basically, each prompt is an element of a skincare routine, which is handy because I watch way too many skincare videos, especially Korean skincare, because it's just so interesting and all their stuff is so good. But I don't have unlimited budget, and also you only need so much skincare. I don't actually know how some of these influencers go through so many products every month. So it's fun to have a tag that's a way to engage with some of this stuff without buying new everything, all of the fancy things. So the first prompt is double cleanse. Actually, I have to scroll down to where I list my decks and things. Double cleanse, a pair of decks that helps you cleanse your energy at the end of the day. So I don't do a double cleanse. I almost never wear enough makeup or anything to require that sort of cleansing. So I just do one, and the cleanser is the one part of my skincare routine that I just kind of don't care what product I use as long as it's not too much of anything, like too scented or too whatever. It's just not the step I'm most interested in. So I sort of use whatever I find on sale or whatever sort of catches my eye. But I'm not attached to any particular product for that. So for the deck for this that I picked is the Gentle Tarot, because it is a gentle cleanse. Whoops. Oh, I'm making a mess. Well, that's typical. Okay. Good. And I'm upside down. This is off to such a good start. Okay. So anyway, the Gentle Tarot is the deck that helps, and I'm still making a mess. Jeez. I have some muscle and joint issues these days, and so sometimes things just go flying out of my hands, which is really exciting. So I make a lot of messes that I have to then clean up. Anyway, decks that help you cleanse your energy at the end of the day. This is just such a sweet, gentle deck. Is the light okay? Maybe the light's not okay. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Anyway, yeah, if I'm feeling just a bit overwhelmed or stressed or whatever, sensory overload, that sort of thing, this is a great sort of reset your energy deck, which I adore. Okay. The next one is Exfoliator, a deck that can be abrasive but helps you peel back things to reveal new growth. Okay, so I use two of these. This is The Ordinary's Lactic Acid 5%, and this is BHA Power Liquid. It's not actually straight up salicylic acid, it's like a derivative of that, so it's gentler. And I've tried the 10% lactic acid and can't do it, so these are both pretty gentle and are excuse me, whoops, I am so spectacularly uncoordinated today. It's going well, like my muscles are in revolt or something. Anyway, these are the ones I use because they are quite gentle. They're a little bit, they're not really abrasive. Well, I guess they kind of are, but they're abrasive in like tiny amounts, a little bit at a time. So the deck I picked for this is Tarot de Paysage Intérieur, the Tarot of Interior Landscapes, because it is a bit, I guess it's a little bit harsh. I'm from Saskatchewan, where this is what the landscape looks like in the winter. So it doesn't really feel harsh to me. But if you're not used to prairie winters, it probably feels harsh. And prairie winters would probably feel harsh. So, I don't know. But there's an interesting sort of depth to this deck where you can sort of meditate on some of the images and gives you a new perspective on certain things. So, that I quite like. Then the next one is a toner, a refreshing deck that helps you feel balanced. So I'm not, toners are the step that if I'm watching Korean skincare videos, I'm like, oh, I want to try that one, I want to try that one, and I want to try that one. But you really only need so much. So I've got like 4 of them. Well, I think 3 at the moment, but I don't use them all at the same time. Like I've got a couple that I'll use once this one's done, just for fun, you know? So this is a rice toner, hyaluronic black rice toner by Haro Wonder. I always have such trouble saying that word, Haro. And it's just really moisturizing and skin sort of soothing, I guess. It's nice. I live in a phenomenally dry climate where sometimes in the winter it gets drier than the Sahara, like the air does. It's bananas. So moisture is always, like the air will suck the moisture right out of your skin. It's great. So that is one of my toners. I like it. The smell is a bit funny, but I think I've kind of gotten used to it. So this is the deck I'm using at the moment, which is the Tarot of Persephone's Garden, which might not seem very refreshing, but I find it refreshing, and it is quite balanced actually between the spring and the fall seasons, which I really like because I use it for my gardening when it's not, you know, the middle of summer, but where it's either the early stages of growth in the spring or the entry into the period of decay and dormancy in the fall. I have that picture in my kitchen. I love that. It's such a beautiful deck. I love it. And yeah, it does feel very balanced, so I'm quite glad I have this one. And I've been playing with it a lot. Well, a bit lately. All right, what's next? Essence, a deck that injects a potent dose of nature into your practice. So I have, well, I always get confused about the differences between toners, essences, and serums, because what even are the differences? Everybody defines them sort of differently. And then you translate them from Korean into English and they get defined differently again. So I'm just going to call this an essence, even though it's called a light on a serum. This is a Centella and Vitamin C serum from Beauty of Joseon, which is one of my favorite companies because everything they make is really, I find it very effective, but it's very gentle. And I have breakout prone skin that's can be sensitized to certain ingredients, and I couldn't find a vitamin C that I could use without irritating my skin. But this is so gentle. It's a vitamin C derivative, so it's not, I can't remember which derivative it is. So it's not straight up ascorbic acid, which my skin just gets annoyed by. But yeah, so Centella and vitamin C, dose of nature. The deck I picked for that I've just pulled out is the Herb Crafter's Tarot, because it's not quite summery enough for me to use this yet, but I want to use it because I want it to be this summery. Like, I want it to look like this outside, and it just doesn't. It is actually snowing right now. Like, it is, what is it, March 27th or something, and it's snowing because I live in Alberta, in Canada, and it's cold. At the moment, it's not spring yet. It's not really supposed to be spring for another 2 or 3 weeks. So nothing has, there are a couple of buds on like rowan trees and stuff, and poplar trees, but most things don't have, even most trees don't even have buds yet. It's very early days. So it's not, this does not reflect what's happening outside at the moment, so much as what I wish was happening outside at the moment, because I am quite ready to be done with winter. Thank you very much. So yeah, this is a potent dose of nature that I need at the moment, because everything is just so, and the snows melt well, except for the fact that it's snowing today. The snow is melted. So it's not super cold outside, it's just brown. Everything is brown and gray and not very exciting at the moment. Although the Canadian geese are back, so I guess that's a promise of spring on the horizon. Okay, Serums and Targeted Care, a deck that helps you explore targeted issues in your life. So, my targeted issues are mostly revolving around breakouts, which I've had since junior high, and now I'm getting fine lines as well, which is really annoying because you'd like to, but by the time you start getting lines, I don't mind getting lines. I don't even mind getting, like, my hands are getting a little liney because, you know, I'm getting older. That'll happen. And I'm fine with that, but I would like to not have breakouts simultaneously. Like, if it could be a one or the other proposition, that would be ideal. I sort of feel like if I'm at the lines and wrinkle stage, I should be past the breakout stage. And yet, I am not. So I do get hormonal breakouts sometimes. So I use adapalene with benzoyl peroxide. I guess I probably shouldn't put all the prescription stuff on here. Oh well. Oops. But yeah, this is prescription in Canada. I think it's over the counter in the US, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, adapalene is a form of retinol, or what do you call it? Retinoic acid or something that is specifically studied in relation to acne. And then benzoyl peroxide kills the acne bacteria without needing antibiotics all the time. So it does seem to help. It is really harsh on my skin, which is part of the reason why everything else has to be ultra gentle, because it is just so intense. It is not messing around. So the decks I picked for this, for targeted issues, are one of them I picked two, the Lacrimosa Tarot, because one of the reasons I didn't get the Sistine Tarot is because of the religious imagery, and this one has probably a comparable amount of religious imagery, but it's much darker and more gothic, which I'm into. So it doesn't feel as, I don't know, off-putting to me, because I have just, it's nothing to do with the deck or the deck creator so much as like my personal history with fundamentalism, which has not been a pleasant journey. So I really like this card. I don't know. I assume that's a spinning wheel, but I don't know why it has spikes coming out of the side of it. I have to look up that painting. Anyway, I really love this deck a lot. I think it's a sort of, because I love Gothic literature so much, I think it's a helpful way to incorporate religious imagery in a way that I can, like, cope with. So that's one of them. And then the other one is the, get this out of the way, Moonchild Tarot. This is the Shadow Edition. And this I've used, I don't use it a ton, and it's the only Danielle Noel deck that I've got, because some of the other ones are too light, love and light, and what are those called? Light, Star Seedy. They're too Star Seedy for me. I don't really go in for that. But this one is lovely. I really like the color palette of this one. And I used it with another deck called Pleasure Alchemy, which is great, because also within fundamentalism, you're not supposed to enjoy yourself ever, especially nothing to do with your physical body. That is evil. And that's very nope. That's a nope. So this has actually been a lovely deck for working through some of those things. Because it can be quite straightforward, but it's also a bit gentle, and the colors are really, I find them quite relaxing. So yeah, these are my targeted issue decks. See, that's a bit Star Seedy for me, but whatever. That is the Moonchild Tarot. Masks, a meditative deck that helps you relax. So I don't use sheet masks because I find them annoying. So no, thank you. However, there are these masks that are just so. I don't always know how things are translated from Korean or sometimes Japanese or whatever, because sometimes things that we would call serums, maybe they are translated from Korean as lotions, and so there are some weird translations. Like this is a soothing cream, but it's very much a gel situation. Whoops, I'm clearly not a skincare influencer. Anyway, however, this is called a calendula peptide sleeping mask, ageless sleeping mask. So I'm sort of curious about peptide things, just in terms of keeping my skin healthier as I get older. And I love calendula. I like this mask. You sort of just put on a thick-ish layer right before you sleep, and I tend to put a lotion on over top of this because, again, the air is so dry here. It just whoop, sucks it right out of your skin. So I'll use this as a sort of mask, and I do that in the winter too, actually, with, where do I have it here? Hang on. All right. Sometimes if my skin is irritated from the adapalene or from the ultra dry weather in the winter, I'll use this La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm B5, and I'll use this as a leave-on mask and just put it really thick in certain areas. I can't put it on really thick under my eyes because I get that milia, I think they're milia, something like that. Those little white sort of spots of, what is it? I'm blanking on the word. Oh well. Anyway, if you put thick cream on it under your eyes, some people get those. So I can't do that. But certainly, like if my, cheeks or whatever are particularly annoyed by the dryness, I'll put on a thick layer of this and use that as a mask. Whoops. I'll use this Centella. This is, what company is this? Skin 1004. This is not, Centella products are really nice. They're very soothing. I don't know what makes it Madagascar. If they grow Centella there, I have no idea. Anyway, it's a plant product that's very calming for my skin and gentle. So if it's irritated and it's too like hot outside, I want to use the Cicaplast Balm because this is very, what's the word? Occlusive. That's the word I was looking for. Then I'll use this one, which is sort of a thinner, not as heavy. Anyway, those are the mask options. And the deck I picked for this is the Tarot Hasindazi, the Roots of Asia Tarot, which is very meditative. It's a Buddhist-centered deck instead of like a lot of tarot decks are very European and Christian-centric. Like a lot of the mythology that's in the deck is quite Christian or Christian adjacent. Even some of the Golden Dawn stuff is Christian adjacent. So yeah, I like this one. It's like, that's very meditative. Justice, interesting. Even death, like even some of the cards that can be a bit sharper are quite meditative in this deck, which I really enjoy. I think this is not available in English anymore, but I found it in French on eBay, I think, and I think it's still available in German. But I'm learning French, so I got the French one. And it's just one of the most beautiful decks I have. I love it a lot. I don't use it enough. But yeah, it's very calm and centered, even as things are like moving around. So yeah, I enjoy this deck a lot. The next one is eye cream, right? Yes. A deck that helps you feel youthful. So I do use this, which is the Revive Air Serum. Goodness sake, the Revive Eye Serum from Beauty of Joseon. It's ginseng and retinol. And I use this around my eyes because the adapalene is too much. my eyes would get, like, the skin there is too thin and would just get too red and like flaky. It does not like the adapalene. So I use this around my eyes, and it's really gentle. Like, even though it's a retinol, which is stronger than a retinol, it's still very gentle. I don't know how Korean skincare products do it, but they're really onto something. Like, they know how to make gentle but effective products, whereas I find a lot of Canadian and American products are just much harsher. They might be effective, but maybe only if your skin is a bit tougher and can cope. And mine just can't always. So I appreciate this one. And so for this, I picked a deck that I made like 3 or 4 years ago when I was first. I think it was one of the earlier decks that I made for myself, and it's obviously not one I can publish because it's all copyrighted images. But whoops, I zoom in a little bit. I made a Doctor Who tarot, and Doctor Who always brings out the inner child in it. Probably everybody who watches it, I think. It's such a fun show. And even though the Doctor is like 2,000 years old, or however many at this point, I've lost track, he still sometimes is very exuberant, let's say. And so anytime I need cheering up, or just to have a bit of fun, I mean, sometimes some of the episodes do make me cry, because it's a very moving show as well. There's a lot of heart to it, but it's also just a lot of fun. So yeah, this is the deck that makes me feel youthful. And I don't break it out that often, but every now and again when I just need a bit of fun. This is one of my favorite episodes. Let's Kill Hitler, which, you know, seems apt at the moment. This is one of my all-time favorite war speeches. Might be my favorite speech in Doctor Who ever. Anti-war speeches, I guess I should say. So good. It's so good. I need to, someday, I might revise it with the new Doctor, because I don't have Ncuti Gatwa in here at all. Because I made this before he started, but, like, they're adorable. And it's just really fun. This is one of the sad episodes, despite the fact of the sunflowers. So yeah, that is a Doctor Who tarot. If somebody ever wanted to make a Doctor, like, on the one hand, I'd love an official Doctor Who tarot. On the other hand, I'd be skeptical that I would like it, because I love the show so much, and I wouldn't want anybody to screw it up. So I'm okay with my personal one. Okay, the second last prompt is a moisturizer, a nourishing deck that hugs it all in. So because of the lack of moisture in the atmosphere, so I don't have dry skin, I have dehydrated skin. So it has enough oil, it doesn't have enough water because the air is so dry. So I use Aven hydrants. There's a rich and a light one. The light one I use in the summer, but it's not summer yet. So I've got this hydrating cream that is, it just feels like the opposite of the skin, of the air sucking the moisture out of your skin. Like, it's just putting that all back in, which is lovely. Sometimes in the winter I do use the CeraVe moisturizing cream, which is much thicker. But that I only use occasionally because it is very, very thick. And so I only need it when it's like desert conditions in Alberta. So a nourishing deck, I picked the Heartwood Tarot. Because it is one of the sweetest things I've ever seen. And, let me stuff out of the way here. It is very gentle, and I also feel like it is very nourishing, even though the cottage is a bit run down. Things are growing in the bathroom that maybe shouldn't be. There are mice in the house, but they're cute mice. They're full of leaves in the house, like it's a bit ramshackle. But it is also a community. There's a whole community of creatures in this house, and somehow freshly washed raspberries. I'm not entirely sure how that happens, but I just go with it. Because it's so cute. Like, ridiculously cute. I'm even tempted by their spider deck that's upcoming, even though I don't much like spiders, at least indoors. But Adam Miller's artwork is just so beautiful. So yeah, this is the nourishing deck that hugs all in, because it is a bit of a hug, this deck. Poor little bird. All right. And then the last one is sun protection, a protective deck that helps deflect away the bad energy. So I do realize that in the world of Korean skincare, the Beauty of Joseon sunscreen is considered a bit sort of boring at this point. But that's why I like it, because my skin can't deal with a lot. So this is the Sun Relief Rice and Probiotics. It's very soothing. It's like a really lovely moisturizer that's also an incredible sunscreen. Korean sunscreens are just way better than North American and European ones. The texture is better. They have better, what are the active sunscreen ingredients called? Not filters. What are they called? I can't remember now. Anyway, the sunscreen, the protective ingredients, the ones that are approved to use in Korea work better with less irritation to your skin than the ones that are approved to use in the US, which are usually the ones we get in Canada. So I tend to get mine from Korea now because they just work better and the products are nicer. It's just a nicer quality product. And they've got all sorts. Like, they've got the really light gel sunscreens. Like, the texture of American sunscreens is abysmal. They're disgusting, they're greasy, they're smelly. No. The Korean ones are just beautiful. And so this is the one that I like. But there are so many options. And lighter options. Like, I like this in the summer because I don't need another moisturizer then. But if you don't even want that, there are the gel ones that are really thin. And you put it on and it's like you didn't put anything on your skin. Which in the summer, when it's like, especially if you're in a more humid place than I am, it's very nice. So yeah, that's the sunscreen. Highly recommend Korean sunscreens above like even any of the other Korean products, which I love. But the sunscreens, they hit it out of the park. They're so good. So the sun protection deck that I picked is the Tarot Arthurian by Claire Duval, which is, the illustrations are by Anna Turian, which, let's be honest, is the reason I got it. I haven't read the guidebook yet. I will do one of these days. But this is just such a bright, vibrant, beautiful summery deck that it seemed like the right thing somehow for this one. I've just pulled this out recently as well because I want some of that summer vibrancy, even though we're not there yet. Her artwork is just so beautiful. Also, I want to live there. So yeah, this is my protective deck that deflects away bad energy. The Tarot Arthurian. And that is the Tarot skincare routine. It's a really fun tag from Janaki, so thank you for doing that. And I'll link her video down below if you want to do it as well. I highly recommend. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.